Hi, it's Steve from Part Select. Has your ice maker stopped making ice cubes too big or too small, or all frozen together? In this video, we'll explain how a heat release ice maker works, we'll look at those individual symptoms, and help you troubleshoot what might be causing your ice maker not to work properly. Now, regardless of whether you have a French door style refrigerator, a bottom mount, side-by-side, top mount, if it has a heat release ice maker in it, it probably resembles one of these three units. Regardless of the style that you have, they will all contain similar components. The critical components of an ice maker are the mold itself that the ice cubes form in, a heater that is embedded into that mold, an eject arm and a bail or shut-off arm, as well as a control on the front. They'll all have typically different styles of harness connectors, and your shut-off lever may vary depending on the brand of heat release ice maker in your refrigerator. Now, basically how the heat release ice maker works is that the mold will partially fill with water, and as the ice maker is sitting in the freezer, eventually that water will freeze and turn to ice. Now, when that happens, a thermostat that is located on the front end of that mold will detect that temperature. When it does so, it closes a circuit in the control section that turns on a motor. Now, that motor will rotate this ejector arm that will rotate down on top of the ice cubes. And then it's just going to sit there and put pressure on those ice cubes. Now, at the same time that that motor is being operated, on the bottom side of our ice maker, embedded into the mold itself, is an electric heater. That heater is turned on at the same time and will slowly warm up that mold. Once it reaches a certain temperature, it will break the bond between the ice cube and the interior surface of the mold. When that happens, that ejector arm can then push those ice cubes, rotate them back up the opposite side. They'll lift out, slide out over the edge, and drop down into your ice container. Now, at the same time when this is happening, as the ice cubes are fully ejected, a water valve that is located at the back of your refrigerator, and it may be a simple single coil, two coil, or in the case of models that use dispensers and filters, you may have as many as 3 or 4 solenoid coils on that valve. It will turn on the coil that affects the ice maker. Water will enter the cup at the rear of the ice maker or through the back, and it will run for a specific amount of time until it fills that mold to the proper level, and then it will sit there and wait for the process to start all over again. Well, now that we have a rough idea of how the ice maker works and you see how simple it is, let's look at some of the symptoms that may occur and help you troubleshoot what might be wrong with your ice maker. Now, let's explore the first symptom of no ice cubes at all. Before you get too far into it, just make sure that the bail arm is not locked in the off position. The bail arm should be down, which turns the ice maker control on and allows it to harvest cubes as they become frozen. Now, if the shut-off arm appears to be working properly, whether it is the drop-down bail type or if you have the slide open type shut-off lever, if it appears to be working properly, the problem may actually be in an internal switch located on the control that is operated by that bail arm. Now, this is a sample of an ice maker control. It's the front view of it. If we look at the back, you'll note a lever here, and this is where the bail arm fits into that slotted opening. And that controls a set of contacts located in underneath here. With the bail in the on position, one set of contacts is closed. As we rotate it to the off position, a separate set of contacts are closed. If these contacts fail to make in the on position, the ice maker won't harvest any cubes. These are non-serviceable parts on that control, so if it has failed, you'll need to replace the control itself. Now, if you have a symptom of the ice cubes being too small, that would be an indication that not enough water is getting into the mold. Now, there is no float that governs the level of water in that mold is completely controlled by the amount of time that the water valve is turned on. That is controlled by the ice maker control at the front, and it is adjustable to a certain extent, and typically somewhere between 7 to 10 seconds of fill time through the water valve will give an adequate amount of water in your mold. Before you attempt to make any adjustments, if it's been working fine all along, chances are it's not the control that's giving you a problem. You may have a restriction in the water line going to your ice maker. Now conversely, maybe your ice cubes are too large. If that's the case, there may be a couple of things that could cause that. The most common would be that the fill valve stays on longer than power is applied to it. This is a mechanical problem with the fill valve in that it doesn't shut off right away and allows too much water in. That's usually caused by dirt getting inside of the valve, and the only way to correct that is to replace it. Now you may also get a symptom where the ice container or bin that your cubes collect in overflows. If that's the case, it's a pretty good indication that either the bail arm is the improper one for your model, or there is a defect with the ice maker head in that it does not shut off. Part of the function of that bail arm is to lift up during the ejection of the cubes, and as it drops back down, if it can't go all the way, for example, if it sits on top of the bin full of ice cubes, it should shut the ice maker off without actually having to be in a locked position. If that doesn't happen because the bail arm is the incorrect one and doesn't drop down far enough, you will get a bin that fills up with too much ice. Now another problem that you might experience is actually no cubes at all in the mold itself. For example, no water has made it into that mold. So for that symptom where there's no water in the mold itself, and you may see water has splashed over the actual ice bin and froze the cubes together, it could be related to the fill tube that brings water into our fill cup. If this freezes up, water will tend to splash everywhere, but none will get down into the mold itself, in which case it's typically the fill valve that has caused that problem. Thank you so much for watching this video. We certainly hope that it was helpful to you in repairing your own ice maker. If you have a symptom that we didn't cover today, be sure to enter it in the comments section below. For more videos on appliance repair, maintenance, and cleaning tips, be sure to visit our website. And remember to subscribe so you don't miss a thing.